There are encounters that transform us, people who cross our path with an inexplicable force, as if something beyond the visible were working behind the scenes. There is a mysterious synchronicity that seems to govern the meetings that truly matter, those that touch our soul. When love is real, when it aligns with our deepest destiny, the universe seems to conspire for everything to fall perfectly into place. Coincidences multiply, signs become frequent, and even time itself seems to cooperate. According to analytical psychology, these manifestations are not random. They are symbolic reflections of an inner truth revealing itself in the outer world. This script dives into that mystery. What really happens when love is meant to be? And how do archetypes, the shadow and the soul, influence the signs that life sends us? If you believe that nothing happens by chance, write in the comments, "I recognize the signs of true love." In Carl Jung's analytical psychology, love is not seen as a fleeting emotion or an ordinary romantic bond. It is a symbolic manifestation of the process of individuation, the ongoing journey of becoming who we truly are. When we talk about destined love, we're referring to the union of two souls that on an unconscious level recognize each other as parts of the same archetypal path. And that's where the universe steps in, as a mirror of our deep unconscious, sending signs through synchronicity, one of Jung's core concepts, which represents the meaningful coincidence of events that have no causal relationship, yet carry profound personal significance. The idea that the universe sends messages when love is true is closely tied to projection and the shadow. Often, we project onto another person the parts of ourselves we have yet to recognize or integrate. The one who appears on our path may reflect not only what we desire, but also what we need to confront in order to grow. External signs, in this sense, are invitations to consciousness. They ask us to look inward, to integrate the inner masculine and feminine, the animus and the anima, and to recognize in the other what already pulses within us. A relationship then becomes a profound mirror of transformation. Destined love is not light by nature, but necessary. It activates powerful archetypes and leads us to transcend layers of conditioning, fear, and desire. The signs from the universe appear as symbolic confirmations, dreams, unlikely encounters, repeating words, feelings that surpass reason. Jung teaches us that when we are attentive to the unconscious, the universe ceases to be a stage and becomes a messenger. There's a unique feeling when certain encounters occur, as if everything had been meticulously orchestrated by an invisible intelligence. The coincidences are so precise that calling them chance feels absurd. Jung named this phenomenon synchronicity, a meaningful connection between inner states and outer events that lack a causal link but hold deep significance. When it comes to love, synchronicity acts as a bridge between the unconscious and physical reality, revealing encounters that carry a transformative purpose at their core. In true love, it's common to hear stories where everything seemed to align to make the meeting possible. A sudden change of plans, a random place visited, a casual conversation that connects two strangers. Synchronicity enters this scene as a symbolic reflection of what's already happening inside us. Jung viewed the external world as a mirror of the unconscious. Therefore, the signs that precede or accompany a meaningful love don't appear to entertain us. They appear to communicate. To communicate what? That something deeper is at play, something that challenges logic and calls us to a higher level of awareness. These signs can manifest subtly: recurring songs, symbolic numbers, vivid dreams, unexpected encounters, or the inexplicable feeling of recognizing someone you've never met before. In every case, the sense of meaning is undeniable. The experience transcends logic and settles on a symbolic level. The universe, as a symbolic expression of both the collective and individual psyche, moves to align experiences that provoke growth. Jung stated that what remains unconscious within us tends to appear outside us as fate. In love, this translates into encounters that seem to come from the outside, but are actually responses to an inner movement. When a love is destined, it doesn't arrive just to bring comfort. It comes to challenge us. The signs the universe sends may first appear as tests or discomforts, because they often lead us to areas of the soul we've never explored. The unconscious seeks wholeness. In many cases, it acts as an organizing force, drawing together people whose inner contents complement one another. That explains why deep loves often involve polarities. reason and emotion, control and surrender, fear and desire. True love is not an escape from the world, but a deeper entrance into it, with all its risks and wonders. In this context, synchronicity teaches us to trust that meaning exists even when logic fails, to trust that the encounter that shakes your world might be the very one that sets you on your path. When we become aware of the symbolic language of the unconscious, we start perceiving signs with more clarity and making decisions aligned not just with momentary desire, but with what truly heals and completes us. Purposeful love doesn't appear only to bring pleasure, but to reveal. And often what's revealed is what we've avoided for years: our wounds, our patterns, our oldest fears. That's why true love almost always awakens resistance. It is at once a calling and a mirror. And the universe, through synchronicity, simply confirms this movement. It doesn't choose for us, but it points the way, amplifying what already vibrates in the unseen. So when the signs are many, when everything seems to conspire for two souls to meet, it's worth pausing and listening, not only to what's outside, but to what resonates within. Synchronicity doesn't force, it reveals. And when love is destined, the universe doesn't just observe, it participates in the dance. At the beginning of many relationships, there's an almost magical force that seems to surround both people in a kind of enchantment. Everything about the other feels perfect, made to measure, as if we finally found the person who fills exactly what we've always been searching for. Jung identified this phenomenon as projection, a psychic mechanism in which unconscious aspects of ourselves are attributed to another, especially in love. Intense passion is often not merely recognition of the other, but a symbolic revelation of what we have yet to recognize within. Love projections, especially early in relationships, are common and almost inevitable. We project our ideal partner, our unconscious expectations, unresolved wounds and repressed desires. That's why we often fall in love not with the other person themselves, but with the image we've created, an internal reflection projected onto the mirror of the relationship. Jung explained that this idealization serves a deeper purpose. It brings us into contact with psychic content that must be integrated into consciousness. And when love is destined, this process happens not only with intensity, but also activates the shadow. The shadow, in Jungian terms, represents all the aspects we've repressed, denied, or excluded from our conscious identity. It's the dark side of the personality, not necessarily evil, simply unknown. When we fall in love, intimacy inevitably brings our shadow to the surface. Discomfort, disproportionate reactions, jealousy, insecurities, all emerge. And we often blame the other for this, without realizing they're merely illuminating what already existed within. True relationships are fertile ground for the emergence of the shadow because they require vulnerability. Authentic love strips away social masks and confronts us with our most primitive fears: rejection, abandonment, inadequacy. When the universe sends signs that a love is real and destined, it also warns us symbolically that this encounter will lead us to face parts of ourselves we've avoided for too long. It's as if love opens a door straight into the unconscious. In this process, the pain can be as intense as the initial enchantment. Many despair when the perfect partner begins to show flaws, limitations, contradictions. In truth, it's the veil of projection that's beginning to fall. And that doesn't mean love has ended. It means it's entering a deeper, more authentic, transformative level. True love isn't sustained by fantasy, but by the courage to see and be seen authentically. The awakening of the shadow in a relationship marks the beginning of individuation. As we withdraw our projections and begin to see the other as they truly are, with their light and darkness, we also open space to see ourselves more clearly. The relationship ceases to be just a refuge and becomes a journey of self-knowledge. The other becomes both mirror and guide, and conflict transforms from something to fear into something to learn from. It's important to note that this doesn't happen in every relationship. Only those that touch the soul deeply have the power to activate such intense unconscious material. That's why true loves, though meaningful and transformative, are rarely easy. They require surrender, emotional maturity, and a genuine commitment to inner growth. The universe, when sending signs, doesn't promise comfort. It promises purpose. Projection can be undone, and the shadow can be integrated, but that requires awareness. We must observe repeating patterns, escalating reactions, and most importantly, the emotions the other awakens in us. Instead of reacting impulsively, the path is one of reflection and inner listening. The more conscious we become of our projections, the freer we are to love the other as they are, not as we wish them to be. In the end, that's the gift of destined relationships, the chance to find ourselves in the encounter with another. When love is true, it reveals, confronts, and transforms. And the universe, through its symbolic language, silently guides that process with precision. In Jungian psychology, meeting another person is not just an external event, but a symbolic journey toward the center of one's being. Jung understood that we all carry within us unconscious images of the opposite sex. In men, the anima, the inner feminine. In women, the animus, the inner masculine. These psychic figures are not just symbols. They deeply shape our emotional choices and expectations in relationships. When we seek a partner, we are often unconsciously searching for the embodiment of our own anima or animus. That's why love can feel so overwhelming, so inevitable, because at its core, we are trying to find ourselves. This movement is unconscious. The soul, in its pursuit of wholeness, projects onto the other what is missing within. A man may be drawn to a woman who reflects his anima, sensitivity, intuition, emotional depth, mystery. A woman may be drawn to a man who embodies her animus, strength, clarity, direction, stability. In that first moment, a bridge forms between the conscious and unconscious. The relationship becomes an opportunity for integration. Yet this same mechanism can also be fertile ground for illusion. When we project our anima or animus onto someone, we risk mistaking the symbol for reality. We expect the other to be the perfect incarnation of our inner ideal, which inevitably leads to disappointment. But when love is true and destined, that disappointment becomes an opportunity. The collapse of projection is painful but essential. It leads us toward the most important task of individuation, internalizing those psychic images. Jung emphasized that integrating the anima and animus is crucial to becoming whole. For a man, an integrated anima doesn't make him feminine. It connects him to emotional depth, creativity, and authentic connection. For a woman, an integrated animus doesn't make her masculine. It strengthens her confidence, clarity, and ability to act. When these inner figures are recognized and embraced, we stop seeking in others what only we can find within ourselves. In the context of true love, this dynamic intensifies. The beloved is not just a partner, but a mirror of our own integration process. Every gesture, conflict, and moment of intimacy becomes a doorway to deeper self-awareness. The universe, through its symbolic language, orchestrates these encounters precisely. It leads us to people who, knowingly or not, activate exactly what must be seen and healed within us. When love is destined, the encounter doesn't complete us. It reveals us. It reveals wounds not yet healed, inner images not yet recognized, potentials not yet awakened. The other becomes the portal to reconciling what was lost within. And paradoxically, the more we recognize this, the freer we become to love authentically, without dependency or demand, only presence. The journey of anima and animus is long but vital. Many relationship conflicts arise from ignorance of these inner forces. We project, we're disappointed, we blame, and when in truth we're wrestling with unacknowledged parts of ourselves. Awareness of this dynamic changes everything. It returns power and responsibility to us. In this sense, destined love reveals itself as part of individuation. It doesn't come just to accompany us, but to transform us. It points inward, even when everything seems to happen outside. And in doing so, it teaches that the true encounter with another is, above all, a reunion with ourselves. Jung said that no one becomes conscious without pain. Love, in its deepest form, is one of the most powerful paths to that consciousness. And the universe, in its silent wisdom, sends signs not to distract us, but to remind us we are on the right path. Individuation, a central concept in Jung's work, is the process by which a person becomes fully themselves, integrating all parts of the psyche, the conscious, the unconscious, the shadow, the archetypes, and the internal polarities of anima and animus. This path towards self-realization isn't solitary, even though it demands deep introspection. Paradoxically, it is within relationships, especially those of true love, that individuation most fully reveals itself. When love aligns with the soul, it doesn't appear to fill a void or provide comfort, but to call us toward growth, truth, and transformation. Relationships that foster individuation aren't necessarily easy. They require each partner to look at themselves with honesty, confront projections, wounds, and fears, and take responsibility for their own healing. True love creates a symbolic space that encourages development, respects inner freedom, and recognizes the other as a companion, not a savior or substitute for what's missing. Such loves are rare because they demand emotional maturity, courage, and above all, awareness. That's why the universe, from a symbolic perspective, sends them at the exact right time. They don't arrive before we're ready. Even when circumstances seem chaotic, there's an unseen order guiding the movements of the soul toward wholeness. When two people meet under this sign, their bond goes beyond chemistry or affinity. It resonates with a shared inner calling. In these relationships, conflicts aren't threats but opportunities. Every disagreement, difference, and tension becomes a doorway to deeper understanding. Partners become active mirrors of each other's psyche, reflecting not only light, but the shadows that need to be seen. Soul-aligned love doesn't eliminate challenges. It provides a sacred space to transcend them with purpose. The bond stops being ruled by ego and begins to be guided by something greater, what Jung called the self, the unifying center of the psyche that constantly seeks balance and expansion of consciousness. Individuation doesn't mean isolation. Quite the opposite. It's fulfilled through genuine connection. When we truly love, and that love is anchored in the soul, we're invited to drop the defenses we've built over a lifetime. We allow ourselves to be seen fully, without masks, and in doing so, we open space for real vulnerability. Not the kind that weakens us, but the kind that makes us profoundly human. The universe participates actively in this process. Through signs, meaningful coincidences, reunions, and even unexpected separations, it pushes individuals toward the experiences needed for emotional and spiritual growth. Often, true love becomes possible only after phases of pain, loss, and transformative solitude. It's in those periods that the soul reorganizes itself, dissolving illusions and making space for a more authentic love. A soul-aligned relationship respects each person's timing. It doesn't demand perfection, but presence. It doesn't pressure, but supports. It doesn't confine, but inspires. In that symbolic space, individuation unfolds most deeply because love stops being an escape and becomes a shared crossing toward the center of being. And that's precisely why it's so rare. It requires both people to be committed to their own journey, without using the other as a crutch or distorted mirror. When this kind of love happens, the universe leaves unmistakable traces. There's a feeling of inexplicable familiarity, an effortless harmony that defies logic, but feels true in both body and soul. Time seems to cooperate, and even obstacles become catalysts for union. At this level, love transcends personality and becomes an agent of transformation. It doesn't just accompany individuation, it amplifies it. And so, to love becomes an act of courage, surrender, and awareness. A path of self-discovery only possible when the bond is real and deeply aligned with the essence of who we are. And the universe, ever attentive, keeps sending signs to those willing to listen. Some encounters are not random. They come charged with meaning, purpose, and transformation. Throughout this reflection, we've explored how Carl Jung's teachings help us understand that true love doesn't arise by chance, but from a profound synchronicity between the unconscious and the universe. When we pay attention to the signs, dreams, coincidences, sensations that defy logic, we realize the universe is speaking to us, especially when love is real and destined. Authentic relationships activate our projections, awaken the shadow, challenge the ego, and place us face to face with the process of individuation. They aren't easy, but they are true. They don't just connect us to another person, they reconnect us to ourselves. And when that happens, there's a clear feeling. Everything makes sense, even the challenges. If you feel that love is a journey of self-discovery and transformation, you're not alone. The universe is always guiding, within and without, those who are ready to see beyond appearances. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and continue this journey with us. Watch the video now appearing on your screen and deepen your connection with what truly matters. the truth of the soul.